You got some rhythm. And for the grand finale, good job. Round of applause. Woo! Hi friends, new and old. Welcome to Freedom Forest Farm. I'm Jelena, for those who don't know me, and Happy New Year's, guys. I don't know about you, but I was more than ready to say goodbye to 2022 and to welcome the new year. I wouldn't say that I'm one to really reflect back. I actually wanted to put 2022 completely in the past and never look back again, and just focus on the future. But in the few short months that we have been here on our new farm, I feel like we've actually been able to accomplish quite a bit because we have this goal that we're working towards. So I thought I would sit with you guys for just a quick minute and kind of share some of the things that we were able to accomplish in 2022, and then update you guys on some of our goals for this new year that are going to be working towards our big 5-year plan. Alright, so you guys already saw, before my kids' little drum performance, you guys saw our cows, 7 and 11. I am literally obsessed with them. I think our whole family is obsessed with 7 and 11. They came to us, we've had them for a few months now, but they came to us when they were just a few weeks old. Brent actually was driving into town. He was going to be picking up some wood pallets from some guy that was giving them away for free. And when he got there with the truck and trailer, the guy told Brent that they were relocating out of state to Hawaii and they needed to rehome all of their animals, and they had these 2 bull calves and they had to get rid of them, and so Brent took them. And so he came home with a truckload full of pallets and 2 bull calves in our trailer. And at the time they were bottle babies, so we have never raised cows before. It's something that we were planning on doing, just not necessarily so quickly. We were a little bit unprepared, but luckily for us, everything is very figure-outable these days. We made it work and we got the kids involved. Everybody was involved in bottle feeding these calves. Another thing that we had to do really quickly for the cows was to set up a enclosure for them. We want them to be able to do some rotational grazing, but our grass is dead right now because it's winter, and it's also not necessarily the grass that is best for the cows. So we are going to have to reseed our grass when the time comes. So right now we have them in a temporary enclosure that can be moved around when we need to, and I'll go show you that real quick. It's pretty cool. Alright, so here's 7 and 11's area for now, and yes, there is a lot of poop on the ground because they've been in this area for quite a while and they are ready to rotate to a new area. So they are fertilizing the ground really well for us, but that's also a lot of pine cones that we just haven't raked up yet. But this area is actually quite large. This is just a small portion of a high tunnel that we put over here for them, so that way they have coverage from the rain and the wind. And again, the grass is dead right now, so we are supplementing with grain and hay. So this white rope that goes through the T-post and the plastic clamps is electric, and we have a solar charger over here that it's connected to. So Brent and his stepdad set this whole thing up. So it's just T-post, some plastic clamps, and then the electric wire the electric rope runs through all the way around, and we have the ground wire that plugs in and our solar charger right there. So we put candles on this side so we can just open them and come on in here when we need to go and feed these guys. So with the fencing, or the electrical wire, there's a bunch of different wires we could use, but Brent chose this white electrical rope. And our thought process behind that was that it will train the cows to think that the white rope that we have an abundance of is electrical, so that way when we have to rotate pastures and we move this setup to different areas, when we have the grass growing for them, we can use the white rope that we have an abundance of to set them as we're moving it. So did I explain that right? And hopefully they'll think that the rope is electric.
Well, we can do like the top 2 of just rope and then just the middle.
True.
The electric rope.
Yeah, because we kind of went overboard. It was our first time, so we kind of went overboard with the electric rope. We probably didn't need 3 rows, but in the future when we move them, we can just do 1 row of electric rope and then another row of regular rope, but they will think that it's electric, hopefully. That's the thought process. And we'll just use regular rope as we're taking this down and moving them, right?
Possibly, yeah. I think it'd be easier to just put them in the harness since they're
True.
now harness trained.
Milk Daddy over here has them trained pretty well on their harnesses and their leads, so they kind of walk around with us. When it gets really cold, we have to put them inside in the workshop. It got down to what, 15 degrees, and we were a little concerned it was going to be too cold for them.
You were concerned?
I was concerned. I wasn't going to be able to sleep comfortably at night knowing that the animals were out here and it was that cold. So the kids walked them along this trail over there to the workshop and put them inside the workshop with some straw to lay on, and they were nice and cozy and warm when it was freezing cold outside. But they walk over there pretty well. They know that they're going to get food and treats and stuff, so they walk to and from pretty well on their harness. So we are raising these guys for beef. They'll be here on our farm with us for about another year, and then they'll be going to our freezer. And that's just part of our goal in homesteading and becoming more self-sufficient, is being able to raise our own meat. And we do get asked a lot how we are able to sit here and care for them and love them and pet them and have a relationship with them knowing that we're just going to kill them and eat them. So all I'll say, I don't want to get on a soapbox, so all I'll say about that is that we live in a society where it is very easy to be disconnected from your food. We're conditioned to be disconnected from where our food came from, because if we had an idea of where most of our food came from, we wouldn't want to eat that food anymore. We live in a society where you can go to a grocery store, you can grab something from the shelf, throw it in your cart, go home and cook it for dinner, and not think about where it came from, how it was treated, what kind of quality of life it had or didn't have, what it was fed, what kind of steroids and antibiotics and hormones were pumped into its body that then gets into your body. And so we are choosing to have that connection with our food and how it was raised, where it came from, and to have that relationship with our food. And yes, it is hard. It's going to be absolutely devastating when the time comes for these guys to bless our family of 6 with enough food, enough beef for an entire year. It's going to be devastating and hard, but they're serving their purpose, and I believe that that's the way God intended it. And when that time comes, we'll just take it a moment at a time. And I know this is going to freak you guys out probably even more, but I'm actually really considering, instead of taking them to a slaughterhouse, doing it our own. So there's that. That's 7 and 11. That was a huge goal for us, and we didn't expect it to happen so soon, but we got them in 2022, and they'll be with us 2023, and they are going to feed our family enough beef for an entire year. So we're really grateful and blessed to have them, and we are enjoying every second with them and taking the best care that we can of them and giving them the best life that we can until that time comes. So another thing that we were able to accomplish since August that was of big importance to us as far as being able to grow our own food goes is we have our high tunnel set up out here on the big part of the yard, and then we have our raised garden beds over in front of the house. And so I have been working on getting our soil really established and good and ready to start planting in spring, and so I am so excited for that. That's what I moved here for. It's what I've been waiting for. So let me show you guys these spaces real quick. So over here on the edge of the property is the high tunnel, and we are going to be growing a majority of our food in there, and then as we feel the need to, we will actually expand out across this whole area. So at Christmas time, we had that crazy Arctic frost or Arctic freeze, whatever it's called, that came through, and it got down to about 15 degrees at night, which I know I shouldn't be complaining about because there's other states that it got way in the negatives, and so 15 degrees is like whatever. But for us, and it being our first winter here, it was super cold, super windy. This weather is crazy. I'm not built for this winter stuff. So prior to that, I had planted some cover crops in the high tunnel, just some field peas. I planted these rows over here first, and then a few weeks later I planted the other ones, but all of them did have a chance to get pretty established before that freeze came through. But when it did, I actually closed up this high tunnel, I zipped it all up, and it stayed really nice and toasty in here, so everything is growing really nicely. My rows are quite crooked because it's my first time doing it and seeding this way. So I'm just excited to see all this green in here, and it's going to be even more exciting when these are filled with a bunch of different crops. So there's the high tunnel, and then over in the front of the house you can kind of see where I have my raised garden beds over there, and so we'll also start planting over there right in front of the house in spring. So in addition to getting the cows all set up, we also got Pimber and Piper, our emu and goat, set up as well, and they also have some electric rope that goes in their enclosure. So in order to start accessing the wooded part of our property, we actually carved a bunch of trails all the way around the property and kind of through the woods. So this is an area that was full of vines and trees, and we came in and cleared it out. My mom actually came out here with us and was cutting down trees and helping to clear out this area. And so this is, we're going to build a huge enclosure for the goats and the pigs. We just have to continue clearing out all of this stuff. So a glimpse into part of our 5-year plan is to take all these trees out and replace them with edible trees. So fruit trees, nut trees, berries, some vines, everything edible to create a food forest. So we're going to just be mimicking the way that things grow naturally in the forest with the different canopies and replace it with everything edible. And along these trails that go all the way through the property and to kind of zigzag through the trails that we've created, I want those to be part of our 5-year plan to have our farm be an agritourism spot. Agritourism is just taking agriculture and tourism and combining them and just making this a place where people want to come and visit, where they can walk along our trails and they can pick their food as they walk and they can eat it and enjoy it and see the animals and take in the sounds and the sights and picnic and just hang out, where they can come and not just have a good time but have a connection with their food. So in 5 years, all this stuff will be replaced with edible stuff. That's what has me the most excited for our 5-year plan, is that we can walk along and pick food as we walk. All right, so our trail continues, and then we also cut through the woods here. There's a trail that zigzags through here and back up to the house. So this is all going to become animal enclosures. So that way when you're walking along the trail, picking food from both sides, you'll also have all of the animals out here running around, so it's going to be a whole experience. All right, so in 2022 we were able to get our growing spaces for our food established. We were able to add some beef cows to our farm, so that way we're raising our own food. We also have 27 chicks, day-old chicks, that are coming at the end of this month, and so that will supply us with some egg layers for farm fresh eggs, again something we've totally been missing since our move. And then we're also raising some meat birds as well. And so food was a big thing for us, raising and growing our food. We got a really good start on that last year, and we started carving out the trails to make our property more accessible, which is a huge deal for us. And so the biggest project that we have this year that I'm really timid to even speak out loud, because it's going to require so much work, and I'm really not sure how we're going to pull it all together. I just trust that we will, is the hidden house. If you guys watched that hidden house video, you saw that we have another house on our property that no one has lived in for a very long time, and it needs a lot of work to renovate. And we told you guys that we were playing around with a few ideas, and Brett and I kind of finally honed in on our final plans for the hidden house, and it's going to be a lot of renovation, something that we are going to tackle sooner than later. and something that is going to fit into our 5-year plan in a massive way as far as a business opportunity goes. So you guys are gonna have to stay tuned for our plans for the hidden house. I'm still holding these plans a little close to my heart right now. It's a big, huge dream, big, huge goal, and you guys will have to just kind of, you know, subscribe to our channel and stick with us to kind of see how this comes together and what we turn it into. But I promise it's gonna be pretty awesome. I'm really excited. Like, I could cry right now. I'm really excited. So anyways, guys, that's a quick update on how 2022 ended for us and how we're kicking off the new year. And thank you guys for hanging out with us and for subscribing to our videos and being on this journey with us. And we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.